2024 Porsche 911 C2S Cabriolet. This is the 992.1. 992.2 just got released. The 992 series is a refresh of the 991, which was bigger than the 997, which was a much larger car than the 996, which was the first car in the 911 series to be waterproof. Surprise, surprise, it's a 911 that has a flat 6 turbocharged, makes about 443 on paper. Like all 911s, for some reason, they have horsepower that says one thing and their quarter mile and performance time say another thing. This car punches way above its horsepower class.
Lies, just lied. Everything was a lie.
Definitely not the price class though. In this configuration, this car came in at around $175,000.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Don't cry.
It's beautiful though. That white with the Bordeaux red interior is an eye catcher. Things I don't like about this car: the door handles. These things are super annoying. And I have the key in my pocket right now. It's in my jacket. And it doesn't want to let me in. Now it does. It's because it heard you guys listening. I was about to say, is it because I'm black? I think the front end looks a little tame, to be honest with you. And I know this is the S without the additional aesthetics package, but you shouldn't have to buy that. There should be one front end that works for all 911 S's. Love these wheels. They're staggered setup, 20-inch in the front, 21-inch in the back, and 305s in the back, which is really important because this is a rear-wheel drive car, and 295s in the front. 45s in the front. I have a C4 Corvette, and that C4 Corvette has a 275 square setup on 17s. 245s in the front. What? I don't think I've ever seen a car with that much difference. It's two 305s in the back and 245s in the front. It's like a rat rod or some shit. The car is amazing to drive, even still. And I'll show you that now after I get in through these horrible door handles. Here we go. Porsche 911 C2S Cabriolet.
Another one.
911 So the sport exhaust is currently closed, but it's loud. Oh, now it's quieted up. There it goes. Now it's quiet. So, and now it's turned off. Auto stop, auto start freaks me out every time. Maybe I'm old school, but because if you don't know, it's in a car. You get in the car, you come to a light and push the brakes and the car cuts off. I think something's wrong. You let off the brakes, it turns right back on. So let's see how it sounds when we take off with the sport exhaust closed. Okay, not too bad. Not making much noise. Let's see what it sounds like when you step on it. That's what sport exhaust off. Let's see what it sounds like with sport exhaust on. It's a little bit louder. It's nice. And you get the nice burbles. Now that the sport exhaust is open, this car moves. Woo! That was a very sharp bump. what I love about this car is that the Cabriolet version of the 911 is actually the softest riding version of the 911. I like being comfortable. And I think that's why this car is much better in an automatic version than it is in the manual, because the automatic version, and this is a car one that wants to drive and enjoy their time behind the wheel, where you're not really thinking about anything. So I'm on this nice windy road somewhere in the depths of Georgia, and I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not thinking about whether or not I need to shift into the right gear because the PDK doesn't. I'm not thinking about whether or not there's a large, insane crater of a pothole coming up, because this 911 is the softest riding 911 you can buy. And I'm not worried about if people are looking at me or not, because I know they are. This is a GT car. This is a cruising car. This is you're going out on a date night and you want to pick up a super baddie type car, because super baddies don't like hard riding sports cars. Like, not to say that you should be buying a car for what women like anyways, because that's stupid. I guarantee you, if you ask your female friends whether or not they want to ride in something that glides over the road and maybe has a little bit more body roll, or if they want to ride in something that rides like a fucking skateboard, they'll choose the former, because no one likes having their fillings rattled out. Gear paddles on the steering wheel, which rotate with the steering wheel. Awesome. Porsche doesn't get that wrong. It has a manual mode. When you hit the gear lever on the steering wheel, it downshifts, it upshifts, it listens to you. But then after a certain point, around like 20 seconds or so, it kind of goes back to its own programming. With the manual button, the car actually won't shift out of gear until you shift it. So I'm in second gear right now, and I'm about to do something that is probably sacrilegious, but let's see if it upshifts. It did not. It got very angry. Of course, I would get angry too. Turn that off. You can shift now. It's okay. So you also have CarPlay, all the usual stuff that you would get in a modern day car that you're spending. The cost of a very nice apartment in Baton Rouge. All the finishes are super nice. You have this red stitching that is the same color as the Bordeaux interior. And then you also have the Sport Chrono package, which gives you that dial up front. Outside of using it at a track, kind of useless. I'm a big fan of this 3-liter turbocharged engine. They don't give this one much credit because it's turbocharged. It doesn't sound as good, but I think that this sounds pretty damn good for what it is. And it sounds Porsche. Like, there's no other car that sounds like this. Beautiful. I really enjoy driving this car. That's what Porsche does well. Driven a C8, but this has a certain level of refinement and finesse that the Corvette still hasn't managed to match. It's like every single generation that the 911 goes through, the C8, the Corvette is one step behind. The Corvette changes, it goes to mid-engine with the C8, and then the 911, 992 steps up, and it's a little bit better, but for a lot more money. You don't buy a 911 because it's practical. You don't buy a 911 because it is affordable. Because there are so many other cars you could buy that have somewhat similar performance for probably like half the price. M4 competition, C8 Corvette, the new AMG GT, it's just a different animal. There isn't really a car in the 911's class that is as flexible as the 911 is. You have the 911S, which we're in. You have the base 911 Turbo that everyone knows about, but then you also have the 911 GT series, the GT2, which is absolutely insane, and the GT3, which is also insane, but just a little bit less insane. So I have the Dakar Classic. The 911 is one of the most versatile platforms that I've ever seen. There are so many versions, so many types, so many different custom interior colors, exterior colors. You can go and you can get a bespoke color from Porsche for like $16,000, but it's available. There aren't many cars that have that type of flexibility to be a GT car with very nice interior that rides really supple, and then being an off-road demon to being, a track horse. There aren't many platforms that can do that and not have significant changes. So shouts out to Porsche for being able to do that right. What they do wrong, though, and this is what's really important, is that because these cars are so perfect, you don't really get that sense of fear that you would get with a similar car with similar power that has similar performance. And that's because this car has been refined over and over and over and over again. And honestly, a lot of the refinements that this car has have been made in blood. Like old 911s used to have this snap oversteer like any rear engine car would have. And they've totally dialed that out with this car. It's still there though. I've turned the traction control off and got a little busy with this car, and it is still there. But it is nowhere near as uncontrollable as the older cars. I could give this car to my mom and not have to worry about her crashing. I could give this car to my brother or to my cousin or to my grandmother and not worry about them crashing because it's that easy to drive. But that's a good thing, right? We don't want our cars to be hard to drive. Car enthusiasts say we want that shit. We low-key, we really don't. This is what we want. The problem is when we get what we want, you actually realize it's not exactly what you want. I kind of want Porsche to throw a little bit of dirt in our eye in the next version. I know they won't. I know we're going to hybrids and all types of electronic bullshit, but I'm hoping that either it's in the new 718 or maybe some version of the 911. Even the 911T isn't as raw as I would like it to be, but I hope that Porsche. I really hope that Porsche throws some dirt in our eyes with a new version of the 911. Give us something that's a little scary, a little bit more raw, a little bit more tactile. The classic is there, but you can still feel the tentacles of modern technology behind the car. It's not a bad thing. It's just that some of us like to be scared every once in a while. That was nice.
This Porsche is awesome, but for over $170,000, it better be. It's perfect, maybe a little too perfect. No quirks, no drama, and no check engine light, which means it's barely a Kevin Cars review. Let me know what you think in the comments.